Back to episode 2. The guy turned towards him. What? Jimin, I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't need your sorry. Jimin was a bit startled as the rude tone. Jimin, I'm really sorry. Try I could try to explain, forget it. Jimin, but how can I make it up to you by getting lost? Jimin, why are you being so rude to me? The guy clenched before. Because you are annoying me, you got me fired, and now I have to pay for those plates. Jimin, what? I will pay for you for that. You must have a lot of money to throw away, he said sarcastically. Jimin, that's not the. Give me your number. Jimin, huh? Why? How are you going to pay me? Do you have cash right now? Jimin, no. Then give me your number. I will send you my account details. Pay me soon. Jimin, okay. Jimin gave him his number. I'm Jimin. What's your name? Yoongi. With that said, Yoongi went to his bike and went away. Jimin was wondering how he was going to get money to pay Yoongi. Those plates must have been really expensive. He needed to find a part-time job soon. It had been such a taxing day with nothing good happening at all. If only he knew how much worse it was going to get from there on. To say that Jungkook was angry would be an understatement. He was livid. He had been enjoying his date with Jimin, obviously, to the problem waiting for him to home. He had been shocked when his father called him in the middle of date, asking him to go for a suit fitting for the wedding. He felt anger pulse through his veins when it became clear to him Taehyung hadn't rejected the marriage. He had to excuse himself and leave Jimin there alone so that he could take care of the mess. Jackie, what's going on, Dad? What do you mean? Why are you here? I told you to go for your suit fitting. Jackie, why? For wedding? What else? Jackie, isn't it cancelled? Why would it be? Jackie, I thought Taehyung had cancelled it. Why would he cancel the wedding? Jungkook stammered. Jackie, I don't know. Maybe he didn't like me. Why wouldn't he? He is perfectly okay with this wedding. So don't waste any more time and go to the shop. Jackie, but Jungkook, stop being a nuisance right now. His father had a lot of thoughtful things to him in these years, but the word nuisance always hits him hard. It's like calling rain on an important day nuisance. Calling his son nuisance was like calling his entire existence a burden. Maybe that's how it felt to his parents. It made him feel like he wasn't important enough to be considered something in their eyes. He left the house and drove to the shop for suit fitting because whether he liked it or not, the marriage was happening. He dialed Taehyung's number. Nerves of that job. Jungkook really hated Taehyung in this moment. How could he decide Jungkook like this? He acted all okay with concealing the wedding and stayed back him in his bag. If he wasn't going to do so, he should have told him, and that instant of agreeing with him was Taehyung playing games with him. Was it all a joke to him? Did he enjoy toying with Jungkook? He decided to suck it up and go through this with this wedding. He had no other option right now. but no way in the heck he is going to get along with them. This marriage would be a living heck for them, but that Jungkook would make sure of. He had no intention of breaking up with Jimin. He liked Jimin and didn't want to lose him at all, though he was sure Jimin wouldn't want to stay with him if he knew about the wedding. No one would in their right mind, so he made a stupid decision of not telling Jimin about this wedding. Jimin, quite obvious to the chores in his dating life, was busy finding part-time job to pay back. Yoongi thought finding well-paying job with good working since he was still in a college. Luckily, a friend of his recommended a cafe where Jimin could work. Today was his first day and he was quite nervous. He had never worked part-time before and was unbelievable awkward around strangers, so it was going to be a challenge, but as long as it pays, he will manage. Jimin greeted his owner and soon he was told all the rules and working patterns along with his shift. Mostly he had evening shift except weekends, so it was better. He entered the staff room to change into work clothes when he saw a man, well, a half-clothed man to be precise, cursing furiously for a reason unknown to Jimin. "Excuse me, you are okay?" Being a kind boy he is, he couldn't leave the poor guy like that. The man was startled and turned around quickly to face Jimin, and his shock was only featured both of their faces. Yoongi joke, both said in the same time. Jimin, why are you calling me joke? Yoongi, what the heck are you doing here? Yoongi asked angrily. Jimin, I work here. Yoongi, why? Jimin, what sort of question this? Do you work here too? Yoongi, yes, I want to work here. I don't want to work here with you, so why don't you just get lost? Jimin was offended. Why you always keep telling me to get lost? Yoongi, because your presence is annoying. Jimin, you are being really rude to me for no apparent reason. Yoongi, whatever. Why are you even working? Jimin decided against telling him that he had to earn money to pay him back. Jimin, I just felt like it. Yoongi smiled. You must be boring, having nothing to do. Jimin, huh? Yoongi butted his short and walked out of the room, bumping onto Jimin on purpose. His mood hasn't been better to start with, and now it was completely ruined. This rich kid was probably here to just have fun. Why would Jimin even need to work at such cafe where was particularly shivering in fear when the date for his wedding was announced occasionally? It was definitely going to be a grand event since his parents loved exotic things and it would be like show of power and something. He knew Jungkook must be angry as heck when he had realized they hadn't cancelled the wedding. They had been copied up to his room for weeks, so he decided to go to a cafe to get fresh air. He had contemplated a lot before heading out of a small cafe which had few. They chose a seat as far away from others and ordered an ice americano. He was waiting for his order when the waiter brought him a letter. Excuse me, I didn't order this, Taehyung said after gathering some courage. The waiter was horrified. Huh? Really? I'm sorry, I got confused and oh my god, I'm really sorry. What should I do? I should change it but then what about this? Should I throw it away? Should I drink it? Oh no, I can't do that. Calm down. Then read the tag on the uniform, Jimin. Jimin kept threatening. This is my first day and first job. Job too. Am I going to get fired on my first day? I will drink this, it's okay, Taehyung said kindly. Jimin, are you sure? Yes. Jimin, thank you so much. I'm really sorry for all this, but thanks a lot for not complaining to the manager. It's okay. Jimin, can I know your name? Taehyung. Jimin, thank you. Taehyung means a lot to me. Taehyung smiled a little and replied. The interaction wasn't as bad as they had thought it would be. A complete stranger. Maybe he was getting better with people. They paid for the drink and left. There was only 14 days left for the wedding. Countdown has started. Now Jungkook didn't have anger issues. That's what he would like to believe anyway. So the fact that he was calmly sitting in front of his soon-to-be husband and in-laws enjoying a delicious dinner in very first fine restaurant along with the parents were a miracle in itself. No shouting, no yelling, no crushing or aggressive behavior, no getting up in the middle of the dinner and walking away. Trust me, Jungkook had done worse than this when things didn't get to his way. Not that you can rest and blame completely on his shoulder. Kept staring at Taehyung, who was quietly munching on the food without saying a single word. In fact, since Jungkook had arrived here, he hadn't heard Taehyung say anything except greeting them. What a snobbish joke. That's what he looked like to Jungkook, since right now Taehyung was the biggest villain in his life. He couldn't understand why the heck would the guy not reject the wedding. It's not like he was poor or something. And even if this marriage would be like a business merger, Taehyung couldn't gaining too much to be willing to marry a committed guy. At first, Taehyung had seemed a decent and soft-spoken guy, but now Jungkook was sure he just douchebag who loved messing with people. No worries, since the marriage was happening anyway. Even without his consent, Jungkook was going to enjoy it to the fullest by making Taehyung suffer like heck. The date has been finalized, wedding hall booked, invitation card already sent, flowers and cake all ordered. Official announcement had been made, and lots of business associates and from both sides has been invited to the of the marriage. Finally, it was the day of their wedding, and both of them were reluctant to walk down the aisle. Nonetheless, they said their vows and share a briefcase and were declared married. It was time for them to leave, as they had already greeted all the guests and had dinner with their family. Jungkook, take care of our son. He may be lacking I'm sure you will handle him fine, Mr. Kim said as he clasped Jungkook's hand in his. Jungkook smiled forcefully. No worries, Mr. Kim. He is my responsibility now. I will take good care of him. Mr. Kim hugged Taehyung tightly, and anyone looked them would think the father and son were close to each other, but the truth was far from that. Mr. Kim was threatening Taehyung to behave and not mess it all up. Jungkook and Taehyung sat in the Jungkook's car, waiting gift from Taehyung's father, even though both of them already owned one, but it was just a symbol of status as they drove to their new home, gifted by Jungkook's father. Silence prevalent from the entire ride. Jungkook was too tired and upset to say anything, and Taehyung was scared beyond wits. As soon as they reached the apartment, Jungkook walked through the door without waiting for Taehyung and went to their room for shower. Taehyung was left standing in the middle of the living room, wondering whether they would share a room or would get individual rooms since they didn't like each other. Obviously, he was debating what to do when Jungkook came down from the room after showering and went to kitchen to take one out wine and drink. Taehyung gathered some courage and asked Jungkook, JK, don't they, huh? What? JK, don't ever say my name from a filthy mouth. He was confused, but what am I supposed to call you then? Jungkook glared at him. JK, master, would do. Taehyung was surprised. What? JK, are you a thief? Or maybe retarded? But why would I call you master? JK, because I said so. Do you need any other reason? But JK, shut up. Jungkook was so booming loud that Taehyung jumped up in fear and nodded his head frantically. JK, I need an answer. Okay. JK, okay, what? Taehyung felt humiliated calling his husband master. Yes, master. JK, now let's establish some ground rules so that you wouldn't mess up with my life. Taehyung stayed silent at that. First, address me as master when we are alone or whenever I tell you to cook all the meals, 3, clean the house. There shouldn't be a speck of dirt. 4, you wouldn't go anywhere without my permission. 5, you can't call anyone here without asking me. 6, you will sleep in guest room. Don't ever step in my room except when I allow you. 7, pretend you are happy in front of others. 8, don't argue with me ever. Rest, I will tell you when I will think of them. Taehyung stuttered. That's but it's like I'm like a Sal. JK, so aren't you? I'm your husband. JK, my wife. No, I'm a man, so I'm husband. JK, don't argue with me. But JK, I'm too tired to deal with your nonsense. Jungkook stood up and went up to his room. Taehyung was left standing, thinking about how his married life was going to be. Jungkook seems too scary to live with. He would do his best to follow the rules. Taehyung had followed rules at his home, so he was sure he could do this here too. He had to. It's not like he had any other option. No matter how bad Jungkook would be, maybe he wouldn't be as cruel as his parents. As long as Jungkook didn't hate him, Taehyung was fine with other things. It was pathetic how low his husband was for others because they had never received love in any form from anyone in his life. he would take whatever Jungkook would throw his way as long as he got to stay away from his parents, because those rules weren't as harsh as his life back home. They had nowhere to go anyways, nor did he have any friends to call here. As for cooking and cleaning, he did that at home too, so it wasn't that big deal. Only thing Taehyung hated was that he had to call Jungkook master. That sounds humiliating, but they could put up with that. Jungkook blurred first thing in the morning. JK, what the heck is this? The food. Taehyung wasn't sure what had set off Jungkook. JK, why would you put peanut in that? I am allergic of peanut. Are you trying to kill me? Taehyung, but I didn't know. JK, is that your excuse for almost killing me? JK, you didn't even eat it yet. JK, shut up. I have told you not to argue with me, idiot. Taehyung pouted. They am not. JK, what? They idiot, I'm not an idiot. JK, you definitely are. Now cook something else for me. Taehyung got busy making breakfast for Jungkook as he got ready for the office. They ate their food in silence, and it was time for Jungkook to leave. JK, why aren't you ready yet? Jungkook asked Taehyung, for what? JK, office? Don't you have to go to office? No. Taehyung felt embarrassed telling Jungkook that he doesn't work. JK, why? I took leave. JK, for what? The wedding. It was just tiring, so. JK, you just sit there looking pretty the entire ceremony. What the heck are you tired? I looked pretty. Taehyung asked with hopeful eyes. Jungkook sat tiredly. At times, it felt like he was dealing with a kid. JK, whatever. Make sure to clean the house. They aren't there are maids. JK, why would I hire maids when I have you? Are you calling me a maid? JK, yes, I am. Got any problem? No, maids are good. They are also people. Jungkook stared at Taehyung for a few seconds and concluded Taehyung must be messing with him. Took his briefcase and left for work. Taehyung started cleaning the house. It was quite big, so by the time he was done, it was almost 3 p.m. and he was tired as heck. They left Jungkook's room since he hadn't asked for permission yet. He was thinking about what to do. Should he clean it or not? They decided to call Jungkook and then clean his room. To be continued. Everyone, so how's it so far? Did you like it or not? Comment it down. I will see you again in the next episode. Bye bye.